Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Detective Experience. I'm Joe Waters, co-founder and case creator.
And I'm Gabrielle Mace, co-founder and literacy specialist. It's so great to finally start this, Joe.
It really is, and it's funny to think that this all began because you bought one of my early cases on Etsy.
I did. I opened it up and it was a physical product. I opened it up and I started looking at all the evidence. And I thought, this is so clever and so realistic. And I could see instantly how well my students were going to respond to this. So I reached out to you straight away and I said, could I run this in my school? I know this wasn't designed in this way, but I am heading up a school with 1,600 boys in the library space. I think this could be absolutely extraordinary. And I think the whole backstory of that is actually a whole episode to stand on its own, really.
And I said yes without hesitation. I wanted to see how this worked in the real world, and I've just thought this was such a good idea.
It worked so well. It worked so well that it led to a published article in Skis magazine across Australia about the impact it had. And that was the moment that literally changed everything.
That was when we realized we were not just creating a single case, we were building the foundations of an entire detective universe, and that universe becomes Anchors Bay.
This show gives us space to explain how that world works. Anchors Bay is a living environment with returning characters and familiar places and ongoing stories. It is just this amazing, immersive world that people are going to come back to, very much like returning to a book series.
And all of it is tied to literacy. Students engage because they care about the world. They analyze evidence, follow leads, and read in a way that feels meaningful.
And then, of course, we have the amazing North Pole PD launching for Christmas. This is a festive detective world with its very own cases and atmosphere.
And it is so fun to build. It is just incredible building these Christmas cases. I mean, I started building this, end of October. I'm normally someone who, doesn't get involved with the Christmas spirit until December. I found myself listening to Christmas music, building Christmas cases, and really getting into it. So yeah, it's just really fun and immersive.
So across this series, we will talk about how we build cases, how we design the Anchor Bay world, and really how literacy drives everything we are doing and what new projects are coming down the line.
And we'll share the creative process, behind the scenes moments, and insights into the investigations that shape the detective experience.
So let us start at the beginning, how one case dog file on Etsy grew into a shared vision for a literacy revolution across the globe.
And how that vision became the detective experience. Let's begin with our first track.
Salt in the air and the gulls still cry. Rust on the rails where the old boats lie. Every window's got a story to tell, of love, of loss, of raising hell. There's a bar by the docks where the night drifts slow, and rooms run deeper than the undertow. When the wind cuts cold through the alleyway, you'll see the bad shine faint through the gray. We are the ones who walk the line, through sleepless streets and overtime, from the high cliffs down to the harbor spray. We keep the light alive in Anchors Bay. Yeah, we keep the light alive in Anchors Bay. D.C. Bennett's got his notebook worn, takes his tea black at the break of dawn. Sergeant Lee's still chasing ghosts in case files older than most of the posts. The chief says nothing, just lights his smoke while the morning tide lifts another boat. When the fog rolls in and the truth turns gray, we're the ones to stay. We are the ones who walk the line through sleepless streets and overtime. From the high cliffs down to the harbor spray, we keep the light alive in Anchor's Bay. Every town's got its secrets buried deep, names that the ocean swore to keep. But justice whispers through the rain, write my name, remember my name. And though the nights grow long and frayed, we still stand watch on Anchor's Bay. We are the ones who hold the line through sirens wail and warning signs. When the city sleeps and the sinners pray, we keep the light alive in Anchor's Bay. Through storm and silence, come what may, Anchor's Bay. We hold the line. So if you see that badge in the morning gray, know someone standing. Come what may, Anchor's Bay. We hold the line.
The other day, I was in Dimmick's bookshop and I was perusing books to make up a new summer reading guide as we enter into our very long, protracted, beautiful summer holidays in Sydney, Australia that go for many, many weeks. And I was at Dimmick's looking at books, picking them up, reading them, looking at the pages, looking at the text, looking at illustrations in the graphic novels, really looking at these to put together an amazing reading list. And I saw someone watching me do it. And after about 5 minutes, this person came up and it was a dad. And he said, what are you doing? He just started chatting to me, or he said, what are you choosing? And I said, you've got so many books there and you're writing down notes. And I said to him, I'm a literacy expert and I'm an ex-teacher and I'm a literacy expert and I really believe in getting kids reading. And we started having a wonderful conversation where he just said, I feel like I'm at a loss. So I want to say this to parents. I want to tell parents, you are doing more for your child's literacy than you realize. Even on days when you think you're doing absolutely nothing, I promise you, if your child sees you reading a recipe, if they see you scrolling the news, if they see you laughing at a text message, do you know what that is? That's literacy modeling. Now, if you think about, if you chat about a show that you're watching, or you ask what they think about something, do you know what that is? That's comprehension. If you let them write you a shopping list, that's writing. If you let them go off into the mall and find things that they need, that's literacy. I promise you, kids build literacy every day of their life. They don't need a perfect read aloud voice. They don't need 45 minutes of structured tasks and reading times. They just need connection. So truly, one of the best literacy strategies I can say to parents is talking. Just talk in the car, talk at the shops, talk during those, really busy morning rushes, because when kids feel listened to, they become more confident in expressing themselves. And that confidence is also at the part of literacy success. And when you build that, then when you ask about books and reading, you have a natural segue into that. So parents, please, you are doing better already than you think. Truly.
Saw wind drifting through the harbor lights, old pier creaking as the tide rolls in tonight. Shadows on the water telling stories of the day. Secrets settle softly over quiet Anchor's Bay. In the hush between the waves, every clue begins to wait. cafe wall, locals trading rumors as the night birds call. Something in the stillness says the past won't stay away. Echoes growing louder in the heart of Anchor's Bay. There are stories in the stones. Every street keeps what it knows. Anchor's Bay at dusk, where the shoreline keeps the truth. Whispers in the alleys and the footprints on the roof. Every rusted lantern, every turning tide carries hidden pieces of the town we tried to hide. From the lighthouse tower to the harbor's edge, secret circles slow like a stranger's pledge. Every quiet moment, every broken sign points us to a mystery waiting in the brine. Anchor's Bay at dusk, where the shadows start to speak. Clues drift on the water when the town feels weak. And when the morning rises, washing night away, truth comes home again to ancient Anchor's Bay.
So for me, the detective experience has always been about creating something that actually feels real. With my background, I've always been fascinated by how investigations work in day-to-day policing, how evidence links together, how officers think, and how you slowly build a picture from those tiny little details. So when I started making these cases, I never wanted them to feel like a puzzle or a worksheet. I wanted people to step into something that actually feels lived in. That's where Anchor's Bay came from, a proper city with characters that you recognize, locations you come back to, and story threads that carry across different investigations. And what I love is that once people get to know the place, they naturally want to find out more, right? They read without thinking about reading. They read because they actually want to know the answers. So that has always been the goal from the beginning. Create a world that pulls you in, and the learning follows naturally.
Coffee on the table, notes across the floor, little threads of stories we've been chasing before. Pages turning softly, footprints in the rain. Every little moment brings the truth through again. And the world feels calm when the details align. Slowly drawing patterns in the corners of the mind. There are clues in the quiet, answers in the air, whispers in the spaces when you stop and really care. Every scene we walk through, every trail of light leads us to the story hidden just behind the night. Conversations echo on the breeze. Mysteries unravel when we follow what we see. Soft guitars humming, steady like a friend. guiding every question to a place that makes sense. And the truth shows up in the softest of signs. Like a lantern glowing at the edge of the line. There are clues in the quiet, answers in the air, whispers in the spaces when you stop and really care. Every scene we walk through, every trail of light leads us to the story hidden just behind the night. Take a breath, slow it down, let the moment speak. Every hidden meaning slips out when you least think. We're detectives of the daylight, readers of the sound, finding out the beauty in the small things we found. There are clues in the quiet, answers in the air, whispers in the spaces when you stop and really care. When the world gets noisy, let the heart invite every little truth that waits for us inside the quiet.
So I got asked a question the other day, and it was about the detective experience and why we actually built Anchors Bay. And I want to explain it to you. We did build Anchors Bay. Joe Waters and Gabrielle Mason, the detective experience, we built Anchors Bay because to us, it is about the future of literacy. People love to say literacy is dying. They love to say kids don't read anymore. Screens have taken over. Their attention spans are shot. And honestly, I've seen the opposite. I've seen kids are reading. They're just reading differently, but they are decoding very fast. They're moving between text and images and clues and maps and messages. They are navigating multimodal worlds instinctively and with a speed that just blows your mind. And that is actually why we created Anchors Bay within the detective experience. Because kids and teens now, they don't want to read about a story. They want to step into it. They want to step into an immersive world. It's what they now expect. They want to be part of this world, and they want to investigate and explore and solve and question. And what it is for kids and teens, they want agency and purpose. And Anchors Bay is our answer to that. So it's this immersive town where every case has real purpose. Every clue leads somewhere. Every character feels real. So the users, our students, they're not just reading, they're actually what I call doing literacy in a world that actually is rewarding their curiosity. They suddenly see a point to it. And what is so wild is when you give kids a narrative that they can actually enter, that's when literacy comes naturally. They read more, they stick with it longer, they care, they're invested. So if we talk about the future of literacy, it's not about trying to drag kids physically back to what reading used to look like. It's about meeting them where they are right now in a world which is rich with story, mystery, problem solving, and building their skills effortlessly through sheer engagement. And Anchors Bay is just the beginning.
There's a lantern by the window, flickering low, casting little shadows on the stories we know. Paper trail of questions drifting through the room, clues that feel like fireflies floating in the gloom. And every quiet heartbeat marks another line, pointing to the truth we're gonna find. With a lantern by the window, guiding through the night, shining on the secrets softly hiding in the light. Every small detail, every gentle sign helps us piece together what was left behind. Soft Prousted rhythms hum under our breath, echoes of the mystery we haven't solved yet. Footsteps on the hallway, stories in the dust. Every fading rumor's just a reason to trust. 'Cause the clues speak quiet if you take your time. Let the calm unfold and you'll see the design. With a lantern by the window, guiding through the night, shining on the secrets softly hiding in the light. Every small detail, every gentle sign helps us piece together what was left behind. And if the trail grows colder, keep your courage closer. Sometimes answers linger in the softest glow. Let the stillness show you where to go. The lantern by the window, guiding through the night, shining on the secrets softly hiding in the light. Every calm reminder, every thread we find leads us to the heart of what was left behind.
I wrote an article for LinkedIn the other day, and I haven't quite published it yet, but I'm about to. It's why kids stop reading and how to bring them back. I just want to talk about that for one moment. Let's talk about that moment where they do stop reading, because honestly, it happens to almost everyone. There is a natural dip. With our young people, it often happens around the ages of 9 to 12. Suddenly, their homework piles up, sport intensifies, they get given a mobile phone, so their devices get more interesting. Sometimes their confidence even dips because the books they've been given in school are more challenging. And then reading goes from being something that they really love to do and they felt very grown up when they'd learnt to read, then it becomes a chore. It feels like an effort and it feels hard. But here is the good news. Kids don't lose the love of reading, but they do lose the right book. They lose connection to the book that they need at the right time, the right environment, and the right motivation. So it's all of these things. So then we have to say, how do we bring them back? If we've already lost them, please don't think it's permanent. How do we bring them back? The one word I come back to all the time is choice. Genuine, real choice. I say to parents all the time, let them read graphic novels. Let them read the mysteries. Let them read nonfiction books about snakes and dinosaurs. Let them listen into an audiobook on a long car trip. Whatever hooks them back in, whatever story or language hooks them back in. Then it's community. They're the two C's, choice and community. So when reading feels somewhat social, like a shared mystery, like the detective experience, and you can wrap up a challenge and a conversation in it, then the engagement skyrockets. So it's that choice and connection. And then probably the last thing I'd say is success. Kids and young people have to feel good at something before they'll choose it again. They don't have that tenacity to fail at something, especially if it's academic. So they need to feel good at reading before they'll choose it again. So give them something easier that their eyes will glide through that doesn't feel like an effort. So bring those three things together. Bring together the choice and the community and the success, and I guarantee you the spark will return every time.
Raindrops on the window, tapping like a clue. Little fading echoes of the things we thought we knew. Notes along the table, stories in the grain. Every mark of memory washed softly by In the quiet moments when the world slows down, truth begins to rise without a sound. Pages in the rain, secrets in the gray, answers start to glimmer when the noise fades away. Every gentle line, every subtle stain leads us to the heart of what the shadows try to frame. Folding up the questions, laying out the threads, hearing all the whispers in the words we never said. Misty little patterns forming in the light, guiding us together through the soft October night. And the smallest detail can reveal the truth, hiding in the edges like a quiet proof. Pages in the rain, secrets in the gray, answers start to glimmer when the noise fades away. Every gentle line, every subtle stain leads us to the heart of what the shadows try to frame. Let the rain remind us how the clues align us. Every drop of memory falling soft and true. Let the stillness show us what to do. Pages in the rain, secrets in the gray, answers start to glimmer when the noise fades away. Every soft reminder, every fragile chain leads us where the quiet solves the story. In the
All right, then. So that brings us to the end of our first episode. If you have enjoyed listening, make sure you join us for the next one because we have a lot more to share about the world that we're building and everything that is coming up.
We really appreciate you listening, and we will see you next time.